Hey guys, I'm Vicky Murgatroyd from Life Empowerment Project and welcome to this week's blog. This week I want to get down into some of the results that we got. We sent out a survey a few weeks ago and the kind of overarching theme in the results was that you guys are feeling time poor. You're feeling like there's just never enough hours in the day to get done what you want to get done, and there's certainly not enough hours in the day to take time for yourself. So I really wanted to address that, and this is what this week's blog is all about. So it's about getting success without the exhaustion. So getting success without the exhaustion. First step is, and I am absolute poster girl for this, is that we get into our masculine energy. And the masculine energy is all about the push, it's all about the force, it's all about making things happen. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable for most guys, never mind women. It very much drains your natural resources. That feminine energy that you have within you is almighty. There is nothing that's going to contend with that. But what we tend to do, and if you're anything like me, is that we resist and we get into that state of resistance where we push a little bit harder and a little bit harder and a little bit harder until there's nothing left. And that's where we end up with just that depleted feeling in our body. So the opposite of that, of course, the antidote is the feminine energy, that beautiful, flowing feminine energy that you have within you naturally anyway. It's just tuning into that and utilizing that, coming from a space of allowing, surrender, and let go. And that is your absolute key. As soon as you get into that space, because of course whatever you resist persists, as soon as you get into that space of surrender, of release, of letting go, the resistance stops. You stop getting that pushback from the world because you stop giving the push. And it really is as simple as that. And I've experienced this very recently as well. It's something that I continue to have to keep retraining myself and taking myself back to these basic lessons. Stop resisting. Allow yourself to go into that state of flow, relax, and that feminine energy is the thing that's really going to allowing everything into your life, allow it to come to you, allow yourself to manifest, etc., etc. Get out of push and into flow. Step number 2 is taking care of you first. So you've probably heard the kind of story, anecdote that goes around about the professor or whatever the mold it's been fitted into, but the professor with a jar, and he fills it with golf balls and he asks the class, is it full? And then the class says yes, and then he fills it with pebbles from there, filling in all the gaps between the golf balls. Then he says to the class, is the jar full now? As the pebbles it up to the top. The class says yes. And then he puts sand into the jar. And again, more fits into the jar, it goes in between all the gaps. Bringing it back to the relevance here is that your you time and what's important to you, that needs to go first. They're golf balls, because everything else will fit in around them, but they tend to be the things that will put off until the point where there is literally no room in the jar anymore, and that thing just gets pushed aside. I, again, absolute poster girl for this, in that I'll give up my me time very, very easily because there's things that need to be done. Whereas actually, when I do get into that feminine flow, relax and release, and then I'll schedule my me time in first, guaranteed I'll be more productive than I would have been if I hadn't taken that time. So scheduling you in first is a complete flip, and it also puts you at the top of the priority list, not only for yourself, but also energetically, and it's that representation to the universe, which again keeps you in that beautiful flow state. So step number 3 of getting success without the exhaustion is very simply about the whole concept of Einstein time. It's about when we feel time poor, we tend to get a lot of tension in our body, and guarantee that that time will just fly by. So Gay Hendricks talks about this in The Big Leap, and I've talked about this book a few times because it is sensational. But essentially he talks about how releasing, finding the tension within your body and allowing yourself to let go of that puts you in a state where time will move a lot slower, and kind of likens it with the examples of if you're running late in your car and you pull over to the side of the road, you take a few moments, and then you get back on the road in a completely different state, and guaranteed you'll arrive on time. If you'd rush there the whole way, you just never do. It just never happens. So it's about feeling now what's going on in your body, instead of just thinking, oh, I'm always time poor. Actually notice what's going on physically, because I guarantee that there'll be certain physiological signs that lead into that state of being. It has to be guaranteed. Your physiology is one of your biggest tells. So look for the tension that's within your body now. And another part of the feeling it now is actually to feel it now in terms of the success. So you're after a success without the exhaustion. So when we actually feel the success now, not only does it create that relaxation in your body, it also gets you on that high vibrational energy attracts more to you, so it's less of a continual running after the rewards, and it's allowing them to come to you instead. So it's a complete switch around, feeling it now. Feel what's going on in your body first, release any tensions, and I guarantee your energy will become more grounded immediately as you do. And then look into, okay, so how does it feel when I feel successful? How does it feel when I get all these results that I want to get? Feel it now, and it literally is just magnetizing everything to you. I'll tell you what, there's a lot less effort that goes into allowing than there is for pushing and fighting and running after something. So relax, get in your feminine flow, enjoy, feel it now, and you'll just attract that to you. So the final point in getting success without the exhaustion is something that I would really only talk so candidly about with my clients, who are just the most amazing, most beautiful women, but it's so worth covering in this. It is simply fuck the shoulds. We are so conditioned to try to fit a certain paradigm that does not work for us. And again, you're pushing, you're creating that resistance, which in turn creates the exhaustion. Really tune into yourself, what works for you. Some people get up at the crack of dawn and that works well for them. Other people try to because they think they should, and they're exhausted all day. What actually works for you? How do you like to do things? What feels congruent with you? What feels in alignment with you? And I guarantee things will go so much smoother. But in order to get there, we've got to stop this shoulding all over ourselves. Forget about it, it's not working for you. Tune into what's right for you, and I guarantee everything will happen in a much more fluid and a much more enjoyable way. So we've just covered 4 basic principles of getting success without exhaustion. So let's recap quickly. Number 1, feminine energy. Enough with the masculine, enough with the push. Get in your feminine energy, find that flow state, and it will serve you so much better. And step number 2, put you first. You come first energetically in the universe, on your priorities list. You come first. It's as simple as that. When you create your time first, I guarantee everything else will fit around you. Massive shift. Totally, totally life-changing. Number 3, feel it now. Feel any tension in your body that usually ends up with us rushing all the time and being in this almost manic state. Find the tension, release the tension. That's right, come back down to earth, and all of a sudden time will open up. And then the next step of that is that you'll start to feel now what it's like to have success. I guarantee when you embody physically now the feelings that you'll have in the future when you have everything you want, you become the magnet. You just draw everything that you want straight to you. That is absolute magic. And the 4th and final point is, very bluntly, fuck the shoulds. They're not working for you. Doing what you should do is not working. Get in tune with you, and I guarantee you'll find all the answers you need that give you the path of least resistance to ultimate success, which is internal as well as it is external. So that's how to get success without the exhaustion. Absolutely amazing to get your guys' feedback and know specifically what it is that you need and what it is that you want right now. As I say, this is all about you. It's about us making sure that you have all the answers you need so you can design your life and your business to be precisely what you want it to be. That is true empowerment. As always, implement away, and I will see you guys on next week's blog. Thank you for watching. Always a pleasure. And in the meantime, live empowered and be inspired.